It's a pretty big claim to say that I'm not living according to the Bible as a missionary who's grown up in church and lived my whole life trying to please Jesus. But the reality is that I do struggle to live my life really the way the Bible says I should. And there's a really clear reason for that. And it has to do with the way this book is put together, the access that I have to it. That's what I'm going to talk about today on the video. And I think you might have the same problem that I have. Let's see. This is a Bible I got off the internet for free. This is a Bible that I had when I was in high school. I've obviously read the Bible quite a lot. The Bible is actually 66 different books. And we look at just the New Testament, many of these are letters and they were written to different churches. So the original audience didn't have access to the entire book. They had access to one book. And it wasn't even that they had a copy of it to read whenever they wanted. They were read that copy maybe more than once, but not whenever they wanted. And it was always when they were in a group setting. The idea that we would have a personal copy to read whenever we want of all 66 books is really remarkable. What kind of bugs?
Like beetles, because I just saw one in here, and
because they didn't have access to the Bible, because it was sort of a scarce thing, they were quite intent on hearing what was said when they heard it, because the only way they were going to be able to take the Bible with them was if they remembered it, like if they were able to grab hold of what it was saying. And the way that they were able to respond to the Bible was kind of twofold. They could think, they could meditate, they could mull over it in their head, and they could just practically obey it, do what it said to do. I'm gonna take Benjamin for a walk.
can I go? Dad, can I go?
Get out.
Yeah.
It's in the fact that we have access to our own copy of the Bible where the trouble begins. It actually enables us to study and study and study the Bible. We're actually able to take the Bible and read it for ourselves in personal study. The original audience didn't have that ability. Why is studying the Bible a bad thing? The problem lies in the ancient philosophical approach to thinking, popular before the time of Jesus, in the thought of humanism. The basic idea of humanism is we can figure out what is right and what is wrong based on our own thinking. When we start to think we can figure this out, the Bible goes from being a rule book or a book that has authority to speak to us, to tell us what to do. It goes from being that to being an input. All of a sudden now we can say, does the Bible make sense to me? Do I like what it says? Do I like what it tells me? Do I agree with it? The original audience didn't really stop to think about whether or not the book made sense to them, the letter written to them fit their way of thinking. They knew it didn't. They knew that it didn't match the world around them. They believed in God, and therefore they trusted what God was speaking to them. And instead of overthinking it, they just applied it. And that's where my struggle with actually believing, actually living my life according to the Bible comes in. Cool. So when we talk about how we're actually meant to live according to the Bible, it really starts to beg the question, like, how quickly does the Bible turn into our lives? Like, do we read it and apply it? Or do we just read it and study it and think about it? You see, humanism sort of tells us that we should be collecting data from every direction. Like read that latest blog post, take your experience, your neighbor's experience, maybe read the Bible, get your parents' thoughts, take your childhood, how it felt to you, and then sort of react to all of that, like whatever feels right to you. The Bible takes us a different direction. The Bible sort of says to us, obey, like do what I say to do. Like the Bible's not looking at us and saying, here's why I'd like to convince you that this is the right way to do things. The Bible's like, here's what you should do. And what's crazy is we actually are meant to get revelation in response to obedience. Like when we choose to do what the Bible says, then it makes sense to us. So when we get this backwards, when instead of applying what it says to do, we just think about it and think about it and think about it, we talk ourselves out of actually doing what it says. Whereas if we were to just stop and do what the Bible commands, we would get understanding and revelation that shows us that what it's saying to do is actually, in fact, the right thing to do. So while I'm not arguing that everybody should get rid of their Bible, I do think that we have some very practical things that we can do. One is begin to approach the Bible the way that the original audience did, in groups, hearing what the Word said, and then valuing a response to the Word, an obedient response, starting to say, if the Bible says it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try to do it. Even if I don't understand it, even before I try and totally get it. So I wanna share 7 assumptions that I was making about Christianity that I found that were wrong. Check it out in this video.